The corridor was silent except for the echo of footsteps on marble floors. It was the kind of silence that made everything feel dangerous. Marcus had been standing guard outside the Queen's drawing room for 3 years. Odd. But he had never felt tension like this before. He wasn't supposed to hear anything. A royal guard's job was simple. Stand still, look straight ahead, and pretend the walls didn't have ears. But on that cold November afternoon, Marcus heard everything. And what he heard would change how he saw the royal family forever. It started with a door slamming. Kate Middleton walked past him without a glance, her face pale but determined. She wore a navy dress, and her jaw was set tight. Marcus had seen that look before on soldiers before a battle. Behind her, heels clicked sharply on the floor. Camilla appeared, her expression dark. "We're not finished," Camilla said, her voice low but sharp as glass. Kate stopped. She didn't turn around immediately. For a moment, Marcus thought she might just keep walking. But then she did turn slowly, and the look in her eyes made the temperature in the hallway drop. Before we continue with what happened next in this private royal confrontation, if you love true stories filled with emotion and drama, hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss what happens next. "I think we are," Kate replied quietly. But her quiet wasn't weak. It was the kind of quiet that came before a storm. Marcus kept his eyes forward, but every word reached him clearly. The two women stood 15 feet apart. The afternoon light through the tall windows cast long shadows between them. "You have no idea what you're walking into," Camilla said. "You think being loved by the public means you understand this family? You don't." Kate's hands were clasped in front of her, knuckles white. "I understand enough. Do you?" Camilla stepped closer. "You think wearing the right dress and smiling for cameras makes you one of us? This institution has survived for 1,000 years. It doesn't bend for anyone." Marcus could see Kate's chest rise and fall. She was breathing carefully, staying calm. But something in her posture had shifted. She was done retreating. "I'm not trying to bend anything," Kate said. Her voice was steady now, stronger. "But I won't let you rewrite what's happening to protect your image." The silence that followed was suffocating. Marcus had guarded many arguments before, diplomats, politicians, even royals having small disagreements. But this was different. This wasn't about protocol or schedules. This was personal. "Careful, Catherine," Camilla warned, using Kate's full name like a weapon. "You're still learning how this works. Some battles you cannot win." Kate took one step forward. "It's just one." But it was enough to change everything in that hallway. "Maybe," Kate said softly, dangerously. "But some battles are worth losing everything for." Marcus felt his pulse quicken. He had never heard anyone speak to Camilla like that. Not in 3 years? Not once. Camilla's face hardened. She opened her mouth to respond, but then stopped. Her eyes narrowed as if she was seeing Kate clearly for the first time. Truly seeing her, what Camilla said next would shock Marcus even more than anything that had come before. "You think you're protecting him, don't you?" Camilla's voice was colder now. "You think playing the perfect wife and mother makes you his shield? But you don't know what protecting William really means." Kate didn't flinch. "Then tell me," Camilla laughed, but there was no humor in it. "It means making sacrifices you can't imagine. It means putting the crown above everything. Above truth. Above feelings. Above love." "That's not what I believe," Kate said firmly. "And it's not what William believes either." "William," Camilla repeated, shaking her head slowly. "He's just like his mother. Idealistic. Emotional. Thinking the world will change because he wants it to." She paused, and her next words cut deep. Look where that got her. Marcus saw Kate's face go white. For a second, he thought she might walk away. Any reasonable person would. But Kate Middleton wasn't backing down. "Don't," Kate said, her voice shaking now, but not with fear. With rage, pure, controlled rage. "Don't you dare use Diana like that." "Not using anyone," Camilla replied coolly. "I'm telling you the truth. Diana thought she could fight the system. She thought the public's love would protect her. It didn't, and it won't protect you either." Kate took a breath, then another. Marcus could see her forcing herself to stay calm. When she spoke again, her voice was ice. "The difference between Diana and me," Kate said slowly, "is that I'm not fighting alone." Camilla's eyes flickered. Something had landed. "William stands with me," Kate continued. "And unlike his father, William won't abandon the people he loves to protect an image." The mention of Charles hung in the air like smoke. Camilla's face went rigid. Marcus had never seen her look so angry, and he had seen her deal with protesters, critics, and scandal. But this was different. Kate had just touched the one nerve that couldn't be touched. "You don't know anything about Charles?" Camilla said, her voice barely controlled. "You don't know what he sacrificed." "I know enough," Kate replied. "I know he chose you over his sons when they needed him most. I know he let them suffer in silence while photographers chased their grief. I know William remembers." Camilla took a step back as if physically struck. For the first time in the conversation, she looked less certain, less powerful. "William has forgiven. William has made peace," Kate interrupted. "That's not the same thing. And I will not let history repeat itself with our children." There it was. The real reason for this confrontation? Marcus understood now. This wasn't about personal rivalry or old wounds. This was about the next generation. About George, Charlotte, and Louis. About what kind of family they would grow up in. "Your children are part of this institution," Camilla said, recovering her composure. "They will be trained, prepared, and guided by centuries of tradition, just like every royal before them." "My children," Kate said, her voice breaking for the first time, "will be loved first. They will know their parents choose them, every time, no matter what the institution demands." Camilla stared at her for a long moment. Then she did something Marcus never expected. She smiled. But it wasn't a warm smile. It was sad, almost pitying. "Then you've already lost," Camilla said quietly. Kate shook her head. "No, I've just chosen what matters." Camilla looked away, toward the tall windows where gray November light filtered through. When she spoke again, her voice had changed. The sharpness was gone, replaced by something heavier, something almost like regret. "I was you once," Camilla said. "Not a princess, not adored by millions, but young, certain. I thought love would be enough too." Kate didn't respond. She just waited. "They made me the villain," Camilla continued, still looking out the window. "For loving Charles, for existing in their perfect story. And no matter what I did afterward, no matter how hard I tried, I would always be the villain." "Not trying to make you a villain," Kate said quietly. Camilla turned back to her. And for a brief moment, Marcus saw something almost vulnerable in her face. "Almost human, aren't you?" Camilla asked. "Every time you smile for the cameras, every time you play the devoted mother, the perfect daughter-in-law, you're drawing a line. You're showing them who the good one is." "And if you're good, Catherine, then what does that make me?" Kate's expression softened, just slightly. "That's not what I'm doing." "Maybe not intentionally," Camilla said, "but the public will do it for you. They always do. They need heroes and villains. They needed Diana to be the saint and me to be the monster. Now they need you to be the angel and—" She trailed off, but the implication hung clear in the air. "Not Diana," Kate said firmly. "I never tried to be." "No," Camilla agreed. "You're smarter than she was. More careful. You understand the game better." She paused and her eyes hardened again. "But that makes you more dangerous." Marcus felt his breath catch. Dangerous. The word seemed too harsh, too extreme. But Camilla had said it like a fact. "Dangerous to what?" Kate asked, and there was a challenge in her tone now. "Dangerous to your position? Your reputation?" "Dangerous to everything," Camilla replied. "Because you make people believe things can be different. You make them think the monarchy can be warm and accessible and modern. And when reality doesn't match that fantasy, when the institution demands its sacrifices, those people will turn on everyone, including you." Kate stood straighter. "Maybe the institution needs to change." "Change." Camilla repeated the word like it was foreign. "The monarchy doesn't change, Catherine. It survives. And it survives by staying exactly what it is. The moment it tries to be something else, it begins to die. Then maybe, Kate said slowly, carefully, some parts of it should die. The silence that followed was absolute. Marcus forgot to breathe. He had just heard the future Queen of England say the monarchy should die. Even partially. Even metaphorically. It was unthinkable. Camilla stared at Kate with something between shock and respect. When she finally spoke, her voice was barely above a whisper. "You really believe that?" "I believe," Kate said, "that George, Charlotte, and Louis deserve better than what William and Harry had. I believe they deserve parents who choose them over duty when it matters. And I believe that if the institution can't allow that, then the institution is broken." Camilla shook her head slowly. "You'll never win this fight." "I'm not trying to win," Kate replied. "I'm just trying to protect my family. By challenging everything we've built, by putting my children first." Camilla studied her for a long moment. Then she nodded just once. It wasn't agreement. It was acknowledgement. She had finally understood that Kate wasn't going to back down. Not now. Not ever. "Charles needs to know about this," Camilla said. Kate's face remained calm. "Tell him I've said the same things to William. I have nothing to hide." Camilla's jaw tightened. She hadn't expected that. She had expected secrecy, fear, or negotiation. But Kate had just removed any leverage Camilla thought she had. "William knows you feel this way?" Camilla asked carefully. "William feels the same way I do," Kate answered. "We're united on this. Completely. It changed everything." Marcus could see it in Camilla's face. She had thought this was just Kate being emotional, protective, maybe even naive. But if William agreed, if the future king himself shared these views, this was no longer a private disagreement. This was a fundamental crack in the royal foundation.
Ow!
"Does Charles know?" Camilla asked quietly. "Does he know William questions the institution?" "William doesn't question the institution," Kate clarified. "He questions how it treats people. There's a difference, not to Charles, there isn't." Kate's eyes flickered with something. Maybe sympathy, maybe understanding. "I know, that's the problem." Camilla turned away again, her shoulders tense. Marcus could hear her breathing from where he stood. She was thinking, calculating. When she spoke next, her voice had changed again. It was softer now, almost pleading. "You have no idea what you're asking," Camilla said. "You're asking Charles to question everything he's built his entire life around. Everything he sacrificed for. Everything he gave up." "I'm not asking Charles anything," Kate replied. "I'm telling you that William and I will raise our children differently. That's all. That's not all, and you know it." Camilla turned back to face her. "Every choice you make is a judgment on the choices we made. Every time you do something differently, you're saying we did it wrong. Maybe you did." The words hung in the air, simple and devastating. Marcus saw Camilla's face go pale, then flush with anger. For a moment, he thought she might actually shout, but she didn't. Instead, she laughed. A bitter, painful sound. "At least you're honest," Camilla said. "Diana never was. She played the victim while manipulating everyone around her. You're different. You just put the knife in directly." "I'm not trying to hurt you," Kate said, and for the first time, she sounded tired. "I'm trying to protect my children from being hurt the way William was. The way Harry was. Can't you understand that?" "Of course I understand it," Camilla snapped. "What do you think I've been trying to do for Charles all these years? What do you think any of this has been about?" "Charles is 60 years old," Kate said quietly. "My children are still babies. There's a difference between healing old wounds and preventing new ones." Camilla fell silent. She stared at Kate with an expression Marcus couldn't quite read. It might have been anger. It might have been grief. It might have been both. "You think you can save them?" Camilla finally said. "You think love and protection will be enough. But this life takes everything. Catherine, everything. And one day you'll have to choose between your children's happiness and your duty. Just like Charles did. Just like Diana did. Just like every royal has done for generations." "Then I choose them," Kate said without hesitation. "Every time. I will always choose them. Even if it means losing everything else." Yes, the word was simple. final, absolute. Marcus believed her. And he could see that Camilla believed her too. Camilla nodded slowly. And when she spoke again, there was something almost like respect in her voice. Then you're braver than I thought. Or more foolish. I'm not sure which. Maybe both, Kate said with a small, sad smile. Charles won't accept this easily, Camilla warned. He'll see it as a rejection. As a criticism, he'll fight you. Then he'll be fighting William too, Kate replied. And he's already lost one son. I don't think he wants to lose another. The mention of Harry hit like thunder. Camilla's face went rigid. Everyone knew about the rift between Harry and the family. Everyone knew the pain it had caused Charles. Using it as leverage was bold. Maybe too bold. That's unfair, Camilla said, her voice tight. Is it? Kate asked. Harry left because he couldn't protect his family within this system. He chose his wife and children over the institution, and you all made him pay for it. He's barely spoken to his father in years. Is that what you want for William too? William is not Harry, Camilla said firmly. William understands duty. William knows his role. William understands that being king means nothing if he loses his soul doing it, Kate countered. He watched his mother die trying to escape this life. He watched his brother leave to save his own family. He won't let history repeat itself with our children. Camilla shook her head. You're poisoning him against his own family. I'm not poisoning anyone, Kate said, her voice rising for the first time. I'm standing beside my husband while he heals from trauma that should never have happened. Trauma that happened because people in this family chose the crown over children. Over truth, over humanity. We had no choice, Camilla said desperately. You don't understand what the pressure was like, what the circumstances were. Then help me understand, Kate said, suddenly calm again. Tell me what was so important that it was worth two boys losing their mother. Worth Harry feeling so trapped he had to leave his country. Worth William still having nightmares about photographers chasing his mother's car. Tell me what was worth all that. Camilla opened her mouth, then closed it. No words came, because there were no words. There was no explanation that could make it acceptable. They both knew it. That's what I thought, Kate said softly. Camilla looked down at her hands. Marcus saw them shaking slightly. When she looked back up, tears shimmered in her eyes, though she wouldn't let them fall. I never wanted to be the villain in their story, Camilla whispered. I loved Charles. That's all I ever did. I loved him when no one else was allowed to, and they made me a monster for it. I know, Kate said, and her voice held genuine compassion now. I know it wasn't fair to you either, but pain doesn't justify causing more pain. Your suffering doesn't erase what William and Harry went through. I'm not trying to erase anything. Then help us, Kate said urgently, taking a step closer. Help us make it better. Help us build something different for the next generation. You have Charles's ear. You have influence. Use it for good. Camilla laughed, but it was broken. You think I have influence? I'm the queen consort, Catherine. Not the queen. There's a difference. I can stand beside Charles, but I can't change his mind. No one can. He is what he is. William is what he is too, Kate said. And if Charles forces him to choose between his father and his children, he will choose his children. I will make sure of it, even if it destroys the monarchy. Kate paused for a long moment. Marcus held his breath. This was the real question, the one that mattered most. The monarchy destroyed itself, Kate finally said. Years ago, when it forgot that crowns are worn by human beings with human hearts, William and I aren't destroying anything. We're just refusing to pretend anymore. Camilla stared at her, and something in her expression crumbled. She suddenly looked older, more tired. The armor she wore every day had cracked. And underneath was just a woman who had fought for decades and was exhausted from the battle. You're going to break his heart, Camilla said quietly. Charles has sacrificed everything for the crown. If William rejects what he's built, it will destroy him. Then maybe, Kate said gently, Charles needs to ask himself if what he built was worth building. Camilla turned away one final time. Her shoulders sagged slightly, and Marcus realized he was witnessing something rare. He was watching someone admit defeat. Not loudly, not dramatically, but in the quiet slump of exhaustion, in the way her head bowed just a fraction. "I can't help you," Camilla said to the window, "even if I wanted to. Charles has waited his entire life to be king. He won't let anything threaten that. Not even his son, and he's already lost him," Kate said simply. "He just doesn't know it yet." Camilla turned back slowly. Her face was composed again, the mask back in place, but her eyes were different now, resigned. "When this falls apart," Camilla said carefully, "and it will fall apart, Catherine, because these things always do. Don't say I didn't warn you. Don't come looking for sympathy when the press turns on you, when the public grows tired of your perfection, when your own children resent the choices you made for them. This life gives nothing without taking everything in return." "I'll take that risk," Kate said. "Will William?" "Yes." Camilla studied her one last time, as if memorizing her face. Then she nodded, once, with finality. "Then I'll tell Charles we spoke," Camilla said. "I'll tell him you and William have concerns about the children's upbringing. I'll make it sound reasonable, diplomatic. I'll buy you time. But that's all I can do." Kate's eyes widened slightly. It was an unexpected mercy. "Why would you do that?" Camilla smiled, and this time it was real. Sad, but real. "Because I remember what it's like to be the one fighting for love," she said quietly. "And because despite everything, I don't actually want William to suffer the way Charles did, or the way Harry does now." She paused, then added, "And because, maybe, just maybe, you're right. Maybe some things do need to die for better things to grow." Kai nodded slowly. "Thank you." "Don't thank me yet," Camilla said. "Charles won't change. And when he doesn't, you and William will face an impossible choice. I hope you're ready for it." "We are," Kate said firmly. Camilla walked past her then, toward the door where Marcus stood. As she passed Kate, she paused and spoke without looking back. "Diana thought she was ready too," Camilla said softly. "She wasn't. No one ever is." Then she was gone, her heels clicking away down the marble corridor. Fading into silence, Kate stood alone in the hallway, her hands clasped in front of her, her head held high. Marcus watched her take a deep breath, then another. She was trembling slightly, but when she finally moved, her steps were steady. She walked past Marcus without seeming to see him, lost in her own thoughts. But just before she disappeared around the corner, she paused. She turned back and looked directly at Marcus for the first time. "You heard all of that?" she said. It wasn't a question. Marcus nodded slowly. His training told him to deny it, to pretend. But something in her eyes made him honest. "Every word, ma'am," he admitted. Kate studied him for a moment, then smiled. It was a tired smile, but genuine. "Good," she said. "Then you'll remember. When they write the history books and get it all wrong, you'll remember what really happened here. You'll remember that someone tried—" "I will." "Ma'am," Marcus promised. Kate nodded once, then turned and walked away, her silhouette disappearing into shadow. Marcus stood alone in the silent hallway, his heart still racing. He had been a royal guard for 3 years. He had sworn an oath to protect the family. But he had just realized something profound. Sometimes protection meant more than standing watch. Sometimes it meant bearing witness. Sometimes it meant remembering the truth when everyone else wanted to forget it. He would remember this day. He would remember the showdown between 2 queens, one by title, one by the people's love. He would remember Kate Middleton standing her ground, refusing to bend, choosing her children over everything else, and he would remember Camilla's final words of warning. Heavy with the weight of experience and regret, the afternoon light dimmed as clouds covered the sun. The palace corridor grew darker, colder. Somewhere in the distance, a door closed. Life went on, but something had changed. Marcus could feel it in the air, in the silence, and the way the ancient walls seemed to hold their breath. The battle lines had been drawn. Not with armies or weapons, but with words and choices and love, and whatever came next. Whatever impossible choices lay ahead. The royal family would never be quite the same again, because Kate Middleton had made her position clear. She had looked the institution in the eye and refused to blink. And whether that made her brave or foolish, hero or villain, only time would tell. But Marcus knew one thing for certain. She meant every word.